Good morning and welcome, viewers from across the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, Dominica, St. Lucia, wherever you may be viewing from Curacao. We welcome you to Book Club Corner, and I am your host, Jewel Green, and every Wednesday on Book Club Corner in the beautiful city of Scarborough, Tobago, we chat with local authors in the diaspora across the Caribbean about their books, their love for the written word. We also chat with publishing industry stakeholders and those who are in the literary arts about the state of the literary arts. And today is no different. We have with us an amazing author, and her name is Dawn French. She is from the beautiful island of St. Lucia, and she is the co-author of Creation Fire by CAFRA, Women's Future by UNIFEM, Opus Spectrum by the St. Lucia Writers Forum, as well as the Dictionary of Caribbean and Afro-Latin American Biography by Oxford University Press. She has also been featured in the St. Lucia-Taiwan Tradeshow, CARIFESTA, and the World Expo in Dubai. And she is the 2023 BGWT Excellence Awardee and the 2024 Anaconda Prize winner. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good day and hello to all your viewers and listeners from across the spectrum.
It's really lovely to have you with us today from St. Lucia in your home. Where in St. Lucia are you?
I'm in an area called Montfortune, which is just south of the city of Castries.
Oh, wonderful. I've been to St. Lucia once in my life, and I walked all over Castries. It's a really beautiful historic city, and I can't wait to be back there. How is the weather in Castries today?
Oh, it's raining. It's been raining all weekend. It's been raining all week. And I'm praying to all gods and goddesses for sunshine on Friday.
Oh, it's raining here as well. And let me tell you, it just has kept the temperature down because it's been quite hot these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Here too. Yes.
Well, it seems we're sharing some weather.
Yes, we're thankful for the coolness and bracing for the heat to come mid-year.
That's right. Dawn, on Book Club Corner, we sip and we chat. We don't just talk about books, we also talk about wines. And I'm having some more sorrel wine from a local winemaker, and his name is Luke Lashley. His wine brand is LLW Wines, and he has sponsored us a bottle or two or three, right, Luke, of his local wines. And we had some last week. We're continuing the libation this week with LL Wines. This is sorrel wine. So cheers to you, Dawn, having you on the show.
Right. Listen, now, we have a tradition that you must drink two because, it goes down into one leg and then you're lopsided. So when you finish that one, you need a second one so you can balance.
I love that. I'm stealing that, Dawn. I'm stealing that. St. Lucia knows how to do their thing. Listen, we're going on a quick break. And Dawn, when we come back, we're going to be chatting about the Nobel Laureate Festival and all of Dawn's books. Ladies and gentlemen, get your wines, get your drinks, get your snacks. It's mid-morning and we're the drinkers here on the Book Club Corner. We're going to be back in a few minutes. Cheers to you and see you right back here on Book Club Corner. Welcome back, viewers, to Book Club Corner, where we chat with local authors. Every Wednesday, we talk about books, the literary arts, all across the Caribbean and the diaspora. We chat with authors. And we have Dawn French with us today. She is an author out of St. Lucia, and she's going to be chatting with us today about all sorts of literary tidbits and great stuff. Dawn, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes,
fantastic. I'm here. Listen, you were telling me about this Nobel Laureate Festival. Explain to our viewers what it is. You all are celebrating the 33rd year of the Nobel Laureate
Yes.
Festival. So tell us about that festival. Tell us about your participation.
It's honored as a day because Sir Arthur Lewis won in 1979, the year of St. Lucia's independence. Sir Arthur Lewis won the Nobel Prize for Economics. And then in 1992, Derek Walcott won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Now, by coincidence, both men are born on the 23rd of January, 15 years apart, but so to Arthur in 1915 and Sir Derek in 1930. So the government decided to have a Nobel Laureate Day on the 23rd of January. That grew into a week, then it grew into a couple of weeks, and now we have a whole month of celebrations, lecturers. We just celebrate excellence. We use them as the benchmark, but we have excellence. So we have two Sabka laureates out of Trinidad, for example. Now we have two Olympic medals thanks to Julian Alfred. So we just celebrate excellence across the spectrum under the umbrella of the two Nobel laureates.
I really love
And now,
that. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to St. Lucians, wherever you may be across the Caribbean, across the world, across the globe. Congratulations to you. It seems excellence is in your DNA, right? Because two Nobel laureates. What is the population of St. Lucia?
well, at about 180,000. So we also claim very proudly that we have the highest number of Nobel laureates per capita in the world.
We have to agree with you. I mean, come on. Congratulations to you all. You all are doing an excellent job, not just being good contributors to the world of excellence, but also taking the name of St. Lucia everywhere. I mean, Sir Arthur for science and Sir Derek Walcott for literature, two Nobel laureates from an island of 180,000 people. That is quite a feat. And I love that you all are celebrating the 33rd year in 2025 of the Nobel Laureate Festival. And you all are having an inaugural book fair on Friday. Yes?
Yes. So we
Tell us
also have
about that.
the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, which is also the home of the Derek Walcott Library. So this year, the librarian and her team have proposed a book fair on the campus of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. And we, the authors in St. Lucia, are so excited. We've always been calling for a book fair. We do pop ups now and then, we try things. But now the college looks like they're really going to institutionalize it. And we're having the first of what I hope is many. I was telling a friend of mine that 50 years from now, I want to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Writers in Spotlight. So they're going to have, it's going to be on Friday, which is why I said at the beginning, I'm praying for sunshine because we know paper and water do not mix well. And so it's going to be held on the campus of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. The press release said that there are 35 St. Lucian authors taking place. We're going to have readings, we're going to have book sales, we're going to network. There are a lot of young people, middle-aged people, older people who want to write, but they really don't know how to start. And so they can come and chat with us and network. And hopefully this is the seed that is going to grow into a mighty tree.
Yes, I really love that. It's such an amazing thing for you all to be doing and supporting young emerging authors, older emerging authors, because there is no particular age that you can
No.
start writing. Yeah? So I really
Yes.
love
So
that it is intergenerational.
in my social media post on it, when I'm encouraging people to come, I've been saying, are you struggling to write your novel? Are you thinking of writing one? Have you just begun?
Yes.
Come talk to us because we're going to have people like McDonald Dixon, Jane King, Kendall
Mm,
Hippolyte. We're going to have the veterans there. We're going to have some rookies, some first-time authors like Christina Daniel, sorry. So we're going to have a full spectrum of people there. Some of us would like to sell a book or two, it's true, but we really want to have that village
yes.
of authors and to chat and network. I'm working on I have an unfinished manuscript at the moment. My editor is going to have a booth because he's just just published a collection of poems. And I want to talk to him about when can we schedule for him to edit this manuscript. So it's not just about selling the books, which is the icing on the cake, but it's really about networking and meeting fellow authors across the spectrum, the rookies to the veterans.
Yes. Listen, when you talk about Sir Arthur Lewis and Sir Derek Walcott, I just want to again, I'm a 26th of January born. Put a plug in for all Aquarians. We're good people. We're good people, let me tell you. So congratulations, happy birthday in advance, happy belated birthday to all those who are celebrating their birthdays in January as well. I mean, it's the first month of 2025 according to our Gregorian calendar. And it's a month where we want to start the year right. We want to
Yes.
not just start it right, but we want to write ourselves into a good position in life and a good position as authors. It's a great month for authors to start thinking about what do they want their 2025 to look like and to start making
Indeed.
plans for that. So I love
Indeed.
that you have a book coming up that you're in the process of finally editing and getting that book done. So you have the entire year to market that book. I love that.
Yeah, and also because I'm targeting October, because in St. Lucia and the Creole Islands of the region, in fact, internationally, the 28th of October is International Creole Day. And in St. Lucia, once again, it's a big thing. We take the whole month, we take all of October, and we celebrate Creole Heritage Month. But it is also Caribbean Folklore Month. Marcia Gomes out of Trinidad has proposed that we're going to be in our fifth year this year, and every year it grows. So, because I'm
Yes.
working on a manuscript of mythology, Caribbean mythology, I am looking to launch it in October. So I've got to get all my dots need to be lined up. I need to get the
Yes.
illustrations finished, the editing finished, the corrections done, and the printing so I can launch in October. So yes, I do have some targets and goals I need to hit this year if I'm going to have this book ready for October for Caribbean Folklore Month.
You know, we're such a small community. Marsha is my good friend, right? We just became friends, but Marsha is my
Right.
good friend. She Caribbean Books Foundation, and they have launched, as
Yes.
you rightfully said, Caribbean Folklore Month, where we celebrate across the Caribbean and in diaspora all our folklore characters. And Marsha is going to be on a panel with the Tobago Writers Guild on the Logos Hope on Friday.
Right.
And we're going to be talking about the impact of literature on culture. So, Marsha, we're talking about you, girl.
Behind your back.
Right? And we'll see you on Friday on the Logos Hope, Marsha. But yeah, I think it's very pivotal, very critical for us to celebrate fiction, folklore, and as well to make sure that it is something that is accepted as a world standard. We celebrate Halloween, we celebrate all the other
Things
mythological
that are not
creatures.
ours. Yes,
That's
yes,
right. And
yes.
we need to remember, Laja Bless and Sukunia and all of these creatures, Papa Boa and Mama Do,
You,
right? Yes, those are not characters that are below any standard anywhere, right? And we should elevate them. We should have the conversation and consistently make sure that we understand our mythology characters, our folklore. They are not just something for us to pull out to scare children, right? They are characters that can be put in books and made to have a full life. They have a
yes,
history, they have background, they have a future, right? And they can be used in our stories to create a world
absolutely,
that's not just for
absolutely.
scaring children into brushing their teeth and treating the environment well, doing
But
all the good things.
the 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 responsibility is the present generation to let the next generation know. And because we have fallen short, the generation before us told us. Now they may have had the agenda of scaring us not to go out into the bush, or else Nomboa Den is going to grab you, or El Cuco is going to put it in the bag and have you for breakfast tomorrow because you've been naughty. It was all designed to keep you safe,
Yes.
keep you home, keep you safe. Don't be out driving around the place in the middle of the night because Phantom is going to get you. But we knew those stories because our parents and our grandparents told us. But have
Yes.
we been telling the next generation? I
Yes.
don't want to blame social media and etc. But have we taken the moment in time to tell our children? And I have found personally that regardless of the age of the young person, be they 5 year old, be they 15 years old, once this topic comes up, they have a million and one questions and they won't let me go. I have had to
Yes.
have, after 2 hours, a teacher will say, but Miss French only came for 15 minutes. Or the school bus is here. We have to go. They are
Yeah.
curious. And so when I hear adults saying, oh, this generation don't want to know, that is not my experience at all, at
Nope.
all, at all.
Nope.
They want to know. And then, you go to, if you go to university, and so you go to university that's not in your country. So if you're in Trinidad and you maybe go to Caville in Barbados, or you in Barbados and you go to college in New York, or in St. Lucia and you go to England, that is when you begin to realize you are not grounded. And
Yep.
now you are overseas and you are calling home, because you have a project to do. They have assigned you something and you don't
Yep.
want to use Guy Fawkes, and you don't want to use Halloween. You want to use something from home and you realize you are a blank slate.
Yes.
So I have been saying for the longest while, we need an encyclopedia of these characters. We have enough characters to populate a million and one films in Hollywood. We don't need Hollywood characters. We have enough.
Yeah.
Between And when I speak Caribbean, I don't speak Anglo Caribbean. I speak all of them. English, French, Spanish, Dutch. I'm trying to capture all, and I've encountered the I don't know, what I call the I don't know club. Many of us
Yeah.
don't know.
Yes.
I am liaising with a Jamaican friend of mine, and every time I find an article, I send it to verify, and he tells me I don't know. I talk to my Belizean friends. I don't
Yes.
know. I talk to my Trini friends. I don't know. So how am I verifying the information?
Yes.
The librarians are really helping me, and when I do these projects, I want a minimum of 3 independent sources.
Yes. That is the
And,
standard.
and then also remember, I'm chasing an oral history. So if I don't catch the elders before they cross the rainbow, that Wi-Fi connection is broken. I'm not gonna get them. So it has been
Oh
an interesting
gosh.
journey because I met the usual suspects as we just mentioned. Laja Blaise, Sukunyan, Papa Bois, they crop up. But then
Yes.
we find out that have you ever heard of the Tonton Makut?
No.
The Tonton Makut were part of Papa Doc in Duvalier, the dictator in Haiti. He
Mm-hmm.
had this secret police force that would terrorize Haitians. And they had the name the Tonton Makut. Now I grew up knowing that what the Tonton Makut was. But my research has now shown me that the Tonton Makut under Papa Doc actually took their name from Haitian folklore. And the Tonton Makut is a character that the
Mm-hmm.
old people would scare the children not to go out at night, because if you went out at night and you were a naughty boy or girl, the Tonton Makut would get you, put you in a bag, and eat you tomorrow for breakfast. So yeah, that's why I say it's a journey I'm on. I'm
Mhm.
learning. I thought I knew stuff, but
Yes.
I mean, what I don't know can fill the Caribbean Sea.
I tell
And I
you,
tend
I
to
mean, so many of us, and as you rightfully said, it's when you leave the Caribbean you realize how little you actually know about your home, about the
yes.
Caribbean region. And I have to tell you, When I went, because I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, I'm from Arima, and I went to school in Barbados for university, right? And when I got there, I wanted to cook some callaloo. I went to the supermarket. I bought what I thought was dasheen bush. I went home and I did the necessary. And when I tasted it, it did not taste anything like what we
It's like
had
mother's
home.
cooking at all.
Yeah, so I got on the phone. I said, Mommy, I don't know what I've done wrong. This isn't tasting like what. She said, Well, Jewel, you're not in Trinidad and Tobago anymore. And across the Caribbean, we use different bush. So some people use Edo's bush, some people use dasheen bush, and that was news to me. So I was like,
Right.
So what bush do I have here? She said, Well, I don't know. It may taste a little
You know
different if it's
exactly.
a different bush that you have. So, it may be just that, you may not have done anything wrong to make it taste different, but it's just you're not in Trinidad and Tobago anymore, so you may have a different bush there in your pot, right? So she said, next
Yes.
time, send a picture. When you go to the supermarket, send a picture to me. I send the
Sure.
picture. She said, that is Edo's. I said, how do you know? She said, well, I grew up in Caroni. I know what Edo's look
I
like.
know
I
what
know
you're talking
how, yeah,
about.
that is Edo's bush. I was like, so how will I know? That's when you realize how
That's what,
little they've
yeah.
passed on, how little you've been curious about. Because
Mhm.
I never asked, what do we
I
cook in the
went
Caribbean?
I went to a meeting in Barbados.
Mhm.
It was on a Saturday, and the hostess very gracefully said, "I will buy black pudding and sauce for everybody." Nice. I'm business. The thing comes, and I apologized to everybody on the table. I said, "It is not your fault. It is just a cultural thing. Where I come from, we do not make black pudding with sweet potato. We make it with blood. And when we talk South, we make it with pig feet, not pig ears. And I'm so sorry, but it's not your fault, it's mine because I come from I mean, despite the fact we are Caribbean people
Yes.
together, I'm from a Creole background and you're from an Anglo background. I didn't say that part, but that was what was playing
Yes.
there.
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
we use the same words,
But they're
but the
not the
interpretation is
same.
not the same. And so I couldn't eat it. I had to go and get something. Luckily, because from the mall, I ran across the mall, got something,
Yes.
apologizing the whole way because I don't want to insult my host.
Yes.
They're sharing their foods with me, and I was at pains, and I hope they understood that the problem was me.
And the expectation too, because I like you grew up hearing about my family. Well, I should say my mom and my dad, they weren't into the blood pudding, right? But if I
Right,
went by my grandmother, my cousins
right.
would go St. Helena and they would get this black pudding and come back late in the night, frying it up in the kitchen, the whole
Yes.
house smelling.
Smelling.
Well,
Yes.
I jump up. I say, well, what amazingness is this? The place smelling like. Can I have some? They gave me a little piece, right? And I ate this. I say, how I never get this in my life. This thing tasting real good. So every time I would go by my grandmother, my cousins would come home late with a little bread, the little black pudding. I would be like, I'd be up like a shot because I want to get
Have your
some of that.
raise your hand and first
Yeah,
in the
and
line. Yeah.
exactly. And then I get to Barbados and I hear about this pudding and sauce. So I like, what? I have to get some of
My
this.
God.
And it was sweet potato.
Yes, yes.
And listen, Barbadians love sweet potato. A lot of Caribbean people love sweet potato. I don't love sweet potato. It's a love-hate relationship going on here with sweet potato. I'll drink it, but I won't eat it.
Right.
And it was, that difference is so true. We use
Yeah.
the same words to describe the same things, like pay me. Pay me in Trinidad and Tobago is that cornmeal,
Yes, and Lucia too.
raisins, coconut, sweet,
Yes.
looking like a pastel, but not tasting like a pastel. And
Do
then
you
we
wrap it in the
have
banana leaf too?
Yeah,
Do
and
you
then
wrap it in the banana leaf too?
correct in the banana leaves. I mean, New Age we use foil, right? But you know, you're supposed to use the banana leaf,
This
and
is the
you
banana leaf.
exactly, and you tie it and all of that, right? And you put it down in the pot, and you steam it, not boil it.
Yes.
And then I
Yes.
got to Barbados, and they were into conkeys only at Christmas time, just like us with payme's. And I said, well, what is this conky? I have to try it. It was payme.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, we are the same, just some little differences. And it's so nice when we travel across the Caribbean and we realize that there's so much that unites us, brings us together, and
Yes.
still so many differences that keeps us unique, you know, uniquely Trinidad and Tobago, uniquely St. Lucia, uniquely Barbados. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
I've been finding that playing out in the mythology as I research it. Some
Yes.
characters you'll find everywhere, like Anansi,
Mm-hmm.
and then some characters you will only find, like Black Heart Man in Barbados, Majinue in Saint
Yes.
Lucia. You will not find them. So I found the DDB Dragon in Suriname. You will not find them going into other islands, and I find that whole thing rather fascinating.
Yes. Don't be going on a quick break. I am so enjoying this conversation. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Dawn French. And when we come back, Dawn, we haven't gotten into any of your books. You realize we're just
Okay.
having such a ball. But when we come back, we're going to get into your books because you have quite a number of books, the Peanut Story series and some others that you've done. We're going to get into those and talk about those books. Don't go far, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right back here on Book Club Corner in a very short break. Welcome back to Book Club Corner, where every Wednesday we chat with a local author, publishing industry stakeholders, and those who simply love the written word. We speak to journalists. Once you write, you're a writer, right? And we love to entertain all sorts of writers here on Book Club Corner. Today we have with us a St. Lucian author, Dawn French, and Dawn is gearing up to celebrate the 33rd year of the Nobel Laureate Festival on Friday. Dawn, the books that you're taking to this festival, tell us about your books. How many books you have, because you have quite a number of them, and tell us about how you got into this, what you call the peanut series, the
The
different
peanut
peanut
series, the peanut
stories.
tales.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I'll be taking some of the peanut stories with me to the book fair. The peanut series came about quite by accident, as many things do. I was taking part in a writing course run by the University of the West Indies Open Campus. And it was sponsored by the Canadian government. It was a 6-week course. And we had, it was poetry, prose, and plays. And so our first assignment was we had to write a short story. And at the time, I had been sent to Haiti during the course to respond to one of the hurricanes. I think it's, I forget which one that hit Haiti, and I was sent in with Sidima. But I had this class assignment. Now, anybody who's into disaster management knows that the responders operate on their stomach. So the metabolism goes up and you're munching all the time. And so whilst I was waiting for our leader to come, I came with a massive bottle of peanuts, no lie. I came with a massive bottle of peanuts. And it was there on the table, and I'm thinking about my assignment back home, despite the fact that I'm in Haiti doing a response. Because when I get back, I have to hand in my paper. So I said, okay, I'm gonna call the character Peanut. And the story is going to be about to explain to children when a hurricane is coming what you can do to help, because you're
Oh,
little, and a lot of the information that is out there is targeted at adults, not at children. So I wrote that
yes.
story for my class assignment, Peanut and the Storm, and this thing has just been a runaway train.
That is quite an analogy and an assessment in terms of all our disaster preparedness information is geared towards adults and not towards children. And children need to be, they need to have the information, they need to understand it, and they need to have their own prep as well. Because we
Yes.
know children and adults get separated sometimes in disasters.
Sometimes. Yes. Yes.
What
Yes.
do they do? Do they even know, is mommy and daddy first name mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last name me, mommy, right? Do they know their parents' name? And we need to, there's some things we need to be doing with children, and I love that. So you created this peanut character, and peanuts are
Yes. She's
small.
eight. Yes, yes, and she's 8 years old, and she is
Yes.
tiny, which is why
Oh,
why her grandfather. A whole world sprung out of this thing. So yeah, that's
yes.
peanut on peanut. So the whole world has exploded around this thing, and
Mm-hmm.
her grandfather called her Peanut because she was so small, and the name
Yes.
stuck, right?
Oh,
So
gosh.
we say at home, "Petit copa maladie," which translates into being little is not a sickness. And so she's
Oh.
the tiniest, but she is the bossiest one around. And so lots of things happen. You get to explain a lot of things to children.
Yeah.
Actually, did allergies once, peanut and the allergies. So I had a
Oh.
9-year-old. I had a 9-year-old at the time. She was 9 years old. Now she's a teenager. But she said to me, "Auntie Dawn, I want Peanut to be allergic to nuts, but not to peanuts." And I thought, oh my Lord. So I had to go and research it. And it turns out it is quite possible because peanuts
Yeah.
are a legume, they're not a tree nut. So peanut
Ah.
is allergic to almonds and pistachio and cashew nut because they are tree nuts. But she's
Oh.
not allergic to peanuts because peanut is a legume. And so I wrote the
Oh
whole
my
thing
gosh.
explaining to children what allergies are, the EpiPen, and the whole 9 yards of being careful when you have an allergy. So
Wow.
through peanut, a lot of information gets disseminated, and the adults read it to the kids, but usually get informed as much as the children. Sometimes it needs research, and once it's something like that, I always give it to a subject matter expert. So when I
Yes.
did earthquakes, landslides, tsunamis, volcanoes, I asked the University of West Indies, the Seismic Research Center, and the guys and gals there double check the science for me. Because once you give this to a child, I had a friend tell me, I had Peanut, they were on the farm, and Peanut was saying, you can't get milk from a boy cow, and because I'd write it for kids. And my friend sent me a voice note and said, "Don, you and your books. We're driving down the road and we pass this bull, and my daughter in the back seat, who is about 5, says to me, Mommy, you cannot get milk from a boy cow." And I'm telling her it's a bull, and she's insisting it's a boy cow. And I thought, Lord have mercy. I have to be as careful as I am being. I have to be even more careful because the
Yes.
children are absorbing the information.
Yes. I that is hilarious. You can't get milk from a boy
Yeah,
cow.
because the whole point, yeah, the whole point
Listen.
of Peanut and the Farm was to
Yes.
explain to children that food does not come from a supermarket. Food comes from a farm, and the farmer is very important, and the things he does, and the animals you find on the farm. So I was trying to explain that, so I had to go in and
Mhm.
change boy cow to bull and get that straight.
No, but that's a good explanation. I mean, what is a bull? A boy cow. We need to,
Yes.
you gave them the dictionary explanation and the term one time, so they know exactly what we're talking about. And I think
So
these Peanut stories are so amazing. Peanut being this small child and learning about the world. There's one called Peanut and the Dentist. Could we bring up that
yes,
book cover, Peanut and the Dentist? I love that. Listen.
yes.
That
Yeah, she
dentist
had to go
looks
to the
ominous.
dentist.
Yeah, he looks ominous.
Yeah, she had to go to the dentist, and the whole thing of not wanting to go, and then her mother having to deal with her. This one you're looking at there is because I was explaining the embassies in St. Lucia. We have 10 embassies in St. Lucia. And so, again, getting the information correct, I sent it to all the embassies in St. Lucia and had them verify that the information I was saying about the country and the embassy was correct. And the
Mhm.
ambassadors helped me. So,
Yes.
uh,
And
yes,
this one
this is
here.
Yeah, this is Peanut and the Monster Under the Bed.
I love that you have so this title is in Creole. Yes?
Yes, yes.
I love it.
So I did that story last year. I went to a school for reading month in May. I got invited to a school and we did Peanut and the Monster Under the Bed. And the whole concept is if you keep your room dirty, it is going to create the monster because the monster is made of dust balls and things you throw away. And so when I was finished, the teacher said, I'm going to fix my desk now because I don't want the monster created to come after me. So
Oh my
it's
gosh.
really, hiding lessons in a fun way.
Yes,
So
I love
during COVID,
yeah.
we did Yes, Peanut is all right, not to feel all right.
Oh. The
Yeah.
peanut with the big
So
feelings, the big
yes,
emotions. Yes. How do you
yes,
deal with them and handle them? A little
yes,
peanut with big emotions. I love
yes,
it.
yes, yes,
These are one of the things we not need to. We are talking about it. I don't think enough. We're not talking about it enough. But we are talking about it with the children. And it's a different generation happening now where we are opening up. Parents are being more open with their children. The school curriculum is being more open. They're having
yes.
reproductive health education. They're having
Mhm.
family health education. And these are things that they weren't always in the schools. And parents
No,
they weren't always talking
it's
about
a
it with
different
their
world we're in
children.
now. We're in a different world now. So sometimes I get
Yes.
triggered by news. I get triggered by news articles as well. So there was an
Mm-hmm.
article that came out. I think it was from the BBC talking about how pedophiles are getting children to sex text them.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I had Pete, I think it's Peanut on the phone, and Peanut's mother sits down with her because there's this rumor going around about a little boy who has done that. And the mother has to sit with Peanut now and explain to her the good and the bad uses of a phone and what to be aware of. I
Mm-hmm.
did Peanut, I had one and the Monster, which is about domestic violence. And I went into a school to read it. And when I was done, the teacher said to me she was so glad that I came with that particular story because there are children in her class who are facing some of the scenarios that we were talking about in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So and
It
whenever I
it
do
breaks it down. Yeah.
whenever I do that Peanut and the Monster, I teach the children the word sanctuary. Because in the story, Peanut's grandmother gives sanctuary to the neighbor who comes running to the house for help. And so I explain
Mm-hmm.
to the children what sanctuary, and I make them scream it for everybody down the road to hear. And
Yes.
once you give a child permission, and I say, I can't hear you, it's not loud enough. Oh, Lord, they really now break the decibel barrier.
Yeah.
And explain to them that sanctuary means you give help now and you ask questions later.
Yes.
Somebody's asking you for help for sanctuary, you give it to them and you don't ask questions at that time. Afterwards, you can ask all the questions in the world. So when we
Mm-hmm.
come out of doing that story, they have a new word that they can play with. Sanctuary.
Yes. I really, really, really feel that story because, that Good Samaritan story that we are familiar with, some of
Yes.
us, right? Those who are in the Christian faith may have read it in the Bible, the Good Samaritan. He comes upon this person. He doesn't, start to interrogate them. Well, how you reach here? Well, what happened
Mm-hmm,
to you? Well, why
Two
they let you
people,
down?
why they leave you there?
Yeah, why you out at this hour? Look at the
Mm,
time. You should not be out. That's why you get licked down in the road, That's
yes,
why you get
yes.
robbed. And I love that. Let's help first, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
ask questions
Yes, after.
later.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
in this one, that is a lesson in itself.
yeah. So the
Render
peanut
help first.
stories
Yeah.
cover a wide spectrum
Mm-hmm.
of subjects for the children.
So
Yeah.
this book that you're doing, what is it going to be called? Is this any Peanut series? Is this another Peanut story?
Which one? The one I'm going to read today,
No, the one
or the
that
one that I
you're
did?
getting edited for October.
No, no, no. That one is a piece of nonfiction.
Ah,
I'm calling it Caribbean Legends, Myth, Folklore, and Tradition.
oh, I love it.
And the
Yeah.
bibliography is 45 pages.
My God.
Because I'm in research
Bibliographies.
mode. The bibliography is a book on its
Yes.
own. I'm projecting that the book will be 450 pages.
So it's going to be kind of like if you wanted to know all the characters, all the folklore, this is a book to
If
have.
you had something, this is a research tool.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I and it was into, when I started and I went into the libraries didn't have anything, and they're saying yes that the form fives are coming because they have their SBAs to do for CXC, and some of them want to do the mythology, and what they have at the library is so limited. So they were really happy that someone was coming along to put things together. And I'm hoping, and one of the things I have to do during this October timeline that we spoke about earlier is to find a sponsor,
Mm-hmm.
because I would like to put two copies in every school on the island.
Yes. Well, Dawn, I want some of your books here in Tobago, in Trinidad and Tobago. Sponsors out there, let me help Dawn. Dawn needs some sponsorship for her book. It is an amazing project. The government of St. Lucia, please get to Dawn before anybody else gets to her and give her the money she needs right now. Right? This is an amazing project.
Yes.
One of the things I think we don't always understand is how important research is to having some very credible and strong work, right? We don't
Yes.
want when people are reading our work and our books, they're not sure if the information correct. It sounds a little iffy. And I commend you 45 pages of a
Yes,
bibliography.
because the bibliography breaks down by country.
Mm-hmm.
Because so, despite the fact that the book does not break down by country, it breaks down by character. The bibliography breaks down by country, and I treat Twin Island states as separate,
Mm-hmm.
because the mythology of Trinidad is not the mythology of Tobago, and vice versa. So
Yes.
you could, when you go through the bibliography, you will get the sources for Tobago, and you will get the sources for Trinidad. You will not get the sources for Trinidad and Tobago. I treat them as separate. Same thing for St. Kitts and Nevis. So
Very
whenever
good.
there's a said Antigua and Barbuda, I separate them as well, because I found that some characters may roll over, but very often they have their own indigenous folklore and mythology coming out of their situation, and so I give them the
Hmm.
respect and I just do them separate.
I commend you for that because a lot of times when we're getting information and data, it is aggregate. It is amalgamated and it's not doing anybody any favors because then we want to know, well, how this song is a little more different than this one and why it have a little more spice in it and a little less. And then
Mm-hmm.
we are diluting the information because we're not disaggregating it and making sure that it's, separate for wherever it has come
Yes.
from originally. And I commend you for that. Let me tell you, anybody out there who's been either to university or had to do research papers, when they hear 45 pages of bibliography, let me tell you, they they all the fine hairs on their hands stand up because they're like, my God. And what
Yeah.
style is this? APA, MLA? What is this?
I think it's the APA, because I've been working with the librarian at the um I think they call it UE Global now. It's not Open Campus anymore. But
Yes.
we have and the librarian. I have three librarians who have really been on this journey from me. From the National Archives of St. Lucia, the OECS Information Desk, and the UE Library that we have here. I don't think I could have done half of what I have done without these three librarians. They have really helped me, because as librarians, they have access to a different host of databases than I do. So I do my research, and if I start to get stuck or I don't have enough sources, I turn to them to get those, because I always work with a minimum of three. Um, if I get more than three, then I'm happy. If I get less, I'm unhappy. Three is my benchmark. So I turn to the librarians, and they have always been there for me.
Yes,
So
librarians are
understanding,
special people.
yeah. So even right down
Yeah.
to the because sometimes the I did not know how to write the bibliography citation for an interview because I'm chasing an oral history. So when I sit
Yes.
down with my mother, who is going to be 19 August this year, God spare her life, and she starts to give me the information, I did not know how to write that down. And I turned to the librarians,
Interesting.
I turned to the experts, and they showed me how to
Yeah.
write because I have other interviews with people. She's not the only one, but I cite her for this interview. And
Mm-hmm.
so they showed me how to do the citation. And so I think we're using the APA.
Okay, that is so interesting. I mean, ethnologists, of course, they're going to be doing a lot of interviews with people, gathering the oral history, because they go straight to the source. They go hunt
Yes.
down these people and ask them the questions and gather the information. But for, persons like us who may be into academic research, we're using the book, so we don't always know how to document an interview for your bibliography. I think that is amazing. Listen, librarians they're these rock stars
The
of research,
heroes.
of
Yes, they
academic
are.
work, and not just that, the amount of work that they do put in to make sure that the community enjoys the libraries and feel at home at the libraries. It's not just for academics, it's a refuge, as you say, a sanctuary. You can come into the library and get books and relax, sit and enjoy a good book. And our librarians here in Tobago are amazing. I want to,
Yes.
shout out Miss Fernandes in the Heritage Library and Lisa, who is in the Adult Library, and Miss Dinoon, who is the head of the Scarborough Library. I just had to put that out there. They're
That
amazing
plug.
people.
So what is
Yeah.
happening now is that they are sending me stuff because they know I'm on the hunt. So
Yes.
in their day-to-day duties, if they come across something, if they'll tag me on Facebook, they'll send me a link. So it's
Yeah.
coming back at me. I'm not always going to them, but stuff is coming back at me too
Yes.
from them.
They're
Yeah, which is
phenomenal
why
people.
it's just growing. And every time I think I'm finished,
Yes.
another character pops up. Because anybody who does research knows it's like a maze. So you're researching X, and then you notice X plus one on the side. Then you start to go and you forget you on X, and you're going down after A, B, and C, and there's another one down there. And before you
Yep.
check yourself, you are 6 miles away from where you actually started. So
Correct.
it's I keep saying it's a journey because it is a journey of
Listen,
researching
I
this.
have to commend you for not falling down the rabbit hole with research, right? Because we know how
I
you
have
pull
fallen
one
down, I have fallen
string,
down, I have fallen down, and
you're down there already. Yeah.
I have a network of friends across the Caribbean. So when I began this, I reached out to all of them. Belize,
Yes.
Trinidad, Martinique, just reach out to everybody and say, look, we need, and they have learned together with me. Because
Yes.
bless them, when they say I don't know, they go and find it. They go and find an elder. They find someone to get the information for me. And in the process of me learning, they have learned about their Caribbean nation as well.
Yeah, listen, you have defined two groups there. We talked about earlier the group that says, I don't know. But then
Hmm.
there's the group that says, hold on, I don't know right now, but I'm gonna
Yes, that's
find
what they
out.
usually say. I don't
Yeah.
know right now. I'm going to go and find out.
I
Yes.
love that. I think we need
Yes.
more. That group needs the I don't know group needs to migrate to the I don't know right now group.
Right now. Yes. Yes.
Yes, we go
Absolutely.
find out.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yes.
we're going to get into your book. We are heading into the read aloud segment of
Okay.
the book club corner. You're going to be reading from the book. I am going to leave our group on a cliffhanger. When we come back from a quick break, Miss Dawn French is going to be reading for us. Get your snack, get your drink. I know you don't eat out all your snacks, right? You're like me. You don't eat out all your snacks and you just drink out all the juice. get more and come right back. And we're going to be hearing from Dawn French as she reads to us in our Read Aloud segment. We'll be right back. And we're back here with Dawn French, the St. Lucian author and a prolific writer. She's going to be reading to us from a book today. Dawn, we are ready. I have my wine. I am comfy. Take it away.
It's just a short clip. So I'm reading from a book called Overboard. And what you have to understand, if I can just quickly say, this is about Peanut as well. But Peanut, so you have the Peanut tales for children and the Sabine stories for adults. Adults with a capital A, this is not for children. So there were some things I wanted to resolve, but I could not resolve with 8-year-olds. I had to resolve with them as adults. So Peanut and her friends are now growing up. And this particular one, her daughter went on a boat ride from Castries to Soufrière and fell overboard into the harbor. And the whole palaver that followed as a result of her disappearing into the Black Sea and all what that happened. So I'm reading a quick section here where Sabine's daughter is called Alexandria, and she's been found, and so far all is well. So I'm just gonna read a scene here where, and Peanut's real name is Sabine. Anybody who reads a Peanut tale will know that Peanut's real name is Sabine James. And so Sabine here as an adult is talking to a friend of hers who helped to find her daughter after the accident. Cara! Everton recognized the number on the ID. Don't you cara me, Sabine growled. Ah, Cara, why the attitude? All is well in the house of Smythe, and you call to... His tone changed. Why are you calling anyway? Everton, you came to St. Lucia, joined a search and rescue mission, found my daughter and returned her to me intact, all without one word of contact, not to me or with Fallon. Lex mentioned that she'd met you, but if Watson had not provided the after-action report, I wouldn't know the level of your involvement. ARs will get you every time. Don't be flip. Cara, what did you expect of me? How long have we known each other? Don't answer that. We have been on missions with me, kicking and screaming the whole way, but never saying no. And when the mission became critical, you did your duty. We have saved lives together and probably will again. Did you really expect me to sit at my desk? Well, when you put it that way, but you could have made contact with Fallon. You've known her just as long as me. True, but I made a judgment call. Sue me. There was a pause, then she sighed. Everton, sí, Cara. Gracias y te amo. Yo te amo también, Cara. Yo también. The lifelong friends left it at that.
That is so... Listen, that is so Caribbean. You know me better than that. Where have you been?
Don't answer that. What I do as well is the vast majority of my work is based in St. Lucia, or by extension, the Caribbean. I very rarely venture out of the region with my stories. Even if I'm writing a piece of science fiction and the rocket has to take off, I use the European Space Station in Suriname. So I am very patriotic in my work. Sometimes I hide it. I hide it sometimes. So you might have, so the area code 758 pops up a lot in my work because the telephone area code for St. Lucia is 758. And so you may get someone knock on the door and say, is this apartment 759? No, this is apartment 758. 759 is over there. Now, 759 also has connotations for St. Lucia because in the deep dark days of COVID, the government put an artificial boundary and cut St. Lucia in two. So those of us in the north could not go south, and those of us in the south could not come up. And immediately, St. Lucians dubbed it 758 and 759. So you reading the story and someone asked the apartment number, it doesn't affect the story. But a St. Lucian reading it will go, and have a quick little giggle because they recognize the 758 and the 759. So I do that a
Yes.
lot in my stories.
And those are we call Easter eggs, right? Things that we
Yes,
hide
yes,
in stories that
yes,
somebody who has an eye or an ear for it, like that dog whistle, they're gonna pick it up. I love that
yes.
about that story. That's so amazing. Tell us where
But
in St. Lucia we can get your book.
well, you have to come to the pop-up shop for the book fair because I had a friend of mine who opened a bookshop and was carrying a lot of St. Lucian titles, but she didn't get the support from the public, and so she had to close it down. And people
Mm-hmm.
lament in St. Lucia that we don't have a proper bookshop, and it's true. But then when one did open, I went and shopped in there. When I go shopping in a bookshop, I shop triple digits. I buy books in a couple of $100s. I don't come and buy one book.
Yes.
But even if you just came and bought one book, but a lot of people, didn't support it. Some of us did, but it wasn't enough to keep it going, and she had to close it. So
Mm-hmm.
now you have to, get the books online or keep an eye out, for events like what we're gonna have on Friday with the book fair, and come and get the books.
Before we go and we wrap up, and I totally agree with you, we have to support local a little more. And some of the support is because we lack the marketing, right? So you don't always buy things you don't know about or you're not
Yes, it's
seeing.
true.
You know
It's
what I
true.
mean?
It's true.
We
Yes,
want to
yes.
support, we want to eat local, but all we see is the KFC ads, KFC ads, KFC ads,
Mm-hmm,
right? We have
mm-hmm.
to go
Yes.
looking for the local food and the Creole food. And that's one of the things I always advocate. We need to support our local market with good marketing, right? So
Well,
that
I'm
people
being
are
silly, and
aware.
maybe I'm being naughty,
Yeah.
but the Logos is in Trinidad now,
Yes, it
or
is.
Togo, and it's coming up to Saint Lucia in a couple later in the month. And
Correct.
I've been very blatant. I've been saying the Logos does not support local writers. Don't be like the locals. Come and support us on Friday. That has been. I'm sorry,
But let me
but
just tell you before you go, the Logos is very open to books from local authors. So the
that
Logos
has not
quote.
been my experience.
Well, I'm telling you now because I have had
Okay, new
authors who have
management.
donated books. So just letting you know, maybe things have changed, right? I don't know.
Probably new management.
So,
Yes.
so if you, because they rely heavily on donated books to sell
Mm-hmm.
because they are,
Right.
the prices that they want to sell
Mm-hmm.
at. So I'm just putting it out there. If you have some books and you want to get it on the ship, and the ship also has their own library for their staff and crew. So you
Mm-hmm.
can donate books to that library or you can donate books to the overall book ship, right? For
Right.
them to sell. But just letting you know, they are on the move to support local
They,
authors
yeah,
more
because
than perhaps
back
they
in the
used to
day they were
before.
not. So
Mm-hmm.
that is good progress because back in the day they were not. I know because I had
Yeah.
approached them. I had approached
Yes.
them. I think and it's a while. I think before COVID, I had
Mm-hmm.
approached them and they were not receptive at all.
Well, when I go down there Thursday and Friday, I'm gonna verify and speak to them
Hmm.
again and make sure. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them, when you get to St. Lucia and you meet my friend Dawn, make sure and get
Mhm.
some of her books on the boat, right? We don't want the boat to make the wrongs, and I can't see
And,
Dawn's books
it,
out
and it
here.
wasn't it wasn't a case of I walked up and had a conversation. I came with a
Mm-hmm.
written proposal. After all, I'm a writer.
Right.
I
Yeah.
wrote I wrote a proposal because I didn't know who I was gonna meet. And
Yes.
so, and then we started to have an email conversation based on the
Mm-hmm.
proposal I had delivered. And as I said before COVID, maybe things have changed now, new management, things
Mm-hmm.
change.
Yeah.
At that point in time, at that moment in time, they were not receptive. So it's good to
Yes.
hear that they're making changes that
They
I
are.
think are right
Yeah.
direction. Yeah,
Because I know
yeah.
a few authors who have donated books to them. Yeah, so
Cool.
I'm saying it based on that. Yeah.
Right, right.
Dawn, it has been quite a pleasure having you. The
Thank you so
conversation,
much.
very regional, very Caribbean, very us. Yeah, and we
Yes.
look forward to those in St. Lucia celebrating the 33rd Nobel Laureate Festival.
Festival.
And we congratulate St. Lucia, all those in St. Lucia, outside of St. Lucia, in the diaspora, for their excellence, winning 2 Nobel laureates, one from Sir Arthur Lewis for science and Sir Derek Walcott for literature. And as you say, you all have the highest number of Nobel
Nobel
laureates
laureate
per capita. I love
Yes,
that.
indeed.
Listen, making the Caribbean look good, right?
Yeah, but
I love
we've
it.
got others because Trinidad has V.S. Naipaul,
Yes.
and then Guadeloupe had Mary's Condé, and
Yeah.
when Jamaica Kincaid was nominated, I think 2 years ago, and she didn't get it, I mean, I was like,
Mhm.
because I have a coming back to peanut, I have a peanut and the laureates where I explain to the children the
Yes.
laureates of the Caribbean, not just Saint Lucia. And so
Ah.
when I saw Jamaica Kincaid was nominated, I mean, I guess like a laser vision, because had she gotten it, I would have had to edit the book to add her, and she didn't get it, and I was like so peeled. I
And
didn't get.
sucking your
Uh,
teeth and all sorts of
you
things. I
think
know the
it
feeling.
was me. You think it was somebody in my family that didn't get it,
I know the
because then Antigua
feeling.
would have had one.
Yes.
She can write Nobel laureate nominee, I suppose, the way they do like the Academy Awards. But she was shortlisted, I
Mm-hmm.
think 2 years ago, and but she didn't get it. So hopefully she'll get nominated again, and she'll get it that time around.
Yes, we love when our Caribbean people, women and men, we're doing well. We're being
Yeah, we
celebrated
want
and
to jump up
recognized for
and
our
scream
good hard
and
work.
wave a flag and say, "Yeah, man," you know.
Yeah,
Yes,
I love
yes.
it. So, Dawn,
Because like before Saint Lucia got the 2 Olympic medals, if we
mhm,
were not, you back Saint Lucia when they're in a race. I don't know if Trinidad operates that way. If Saint Lucia is in a race, we back in Saint Lucia.
of
And if Saint
course,
Lucia is not in a race, we're looking for the next Caribbean island to scream. And most times it's Jamaica if it's a sprint. So we balling, you swear we Jamaican, right?
listen, we're
So
regionalists, huh?
yes,
We don't just
yes,
celebrate
yes.
our very
No,
own.
no.
We're
Yeah,
an
we celebrate.
entire
Yeah, yeah.
we're a Caribbean community. And on that note,
Yes.
we're heading off. Dawn, it was a
Thank
pleasure.
you so
We
much
hope to
for
have you
having
back
me.
soon. And some more St. Lucian writers. We're looking forward to having you on Book Club Corner. I want to thank you, Dawn, as well as the viewers across the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, wherever you may be viewing from, for tuning in to another episode of Book Club Corner, where we talk about books, the literary arts, literacy, everything to do with books. And we encourage you not just to read your own local books, but support the entire Caribbean. Let's read Caribbean, support our local authors and writers, and don't just delve into the US, UK, Australia. Let's support our own. We have quite a number of great books out there. So we'll see you next week, and take care of yourself, be kind to each other, and support local.